Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul.
They're gonna run out of cheeseheads soon.
The Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, about now, about now, about now.
What is poppin', y'all? It's a man called Boy Bales, and welcome to another episode of Wisco Sports Weekly. I've been busy this weekend. I've been at Summerfest, so of course I'm a little late with this video, but I mean, I get it. I've been busy, so there's nothing I can do about it. But of course, the NBA draft was on Thursday night, 58 picks, and I could say that the Bucks did a fairly decent job at this draft. They only had the 58th pick, and then they wanted to try to trade into the first round. They didn't do it, unfortunately. But instead, they were able to trade into the beginning of the second round, and they were actually able to get, technically, I'd say, a good weapon that they can use for the future. This is a guy that I actually really had a lot of praise for, thinking that this guy could really be a key member of this Bucks organization in the future. I'm excited about this guy because, I mean, he won a national championship with UConn. Pretty much at pick number 36, they decided to switch it up and get Andre Jackson Jr., who obviously was one of the captains and starters of this UConn team that won the national championship this year. He's known for defense. He's known for doing the little things. And he is a top-level athlete. Dude is athletic. He's very talented. He's really great in the open floor. He knows how to play. Great pace, great decision-making, high character, winner mentality. I think that's what Horst described. If you want to really compare him, you could call him a Swiss Army knife. I think he is a definite guy that can get some playing time. 6'6" guard. He'll be 22 in November. In return, the Bucks sent a 2030 second round pick back to the Magic, along with cash. The only thing that Jackson doesn't have is his shooting ability. Now, he shoots only 40%, I think 40-something% from the field, but his three-point shooting is the only weakness. And yes, we said the same thing with MarJon Beauchamp, but of course we have not really seen Beauchamp play for the entirety of the next year. So of this year. So hopefully we see Beauchamp next year, and Beauchamp does not have a shooting ability. So I think obviously the Bucks can really develop him to be a shooter, since they are that type of team. Now, it is, of course, a new coach, so things could be different, but the Bucks needed to work on their defense, and they got a guy that can really do this defense. Being a worker, a big-time competitor, I think it's great. No matter if you're 6'3", 6'4", 6'6", 6'7", I think you just got to be athletic. He has not, he's got injured back in 2020, which is why we haven't seen him mainly, but in the later years, that's why, things have happened. I mean, 39.5 inches, tied for the first, that's his vertical leap, third fastest three-quarter sprint at 3:14, his vertical leap is 5 inches, and he has a wingspan of nearly 6'10", which is pretty great for a guard. He basically, he had his shooting from the floor was, I think, 41% to a freshman to 43.2 as a junior. Obviously, weakness, three-point line, as I said, 11.8 as a freshman, 36.1 as a sophomore, and like 28.1 as a junior, so that was the thing. But the things that he is good at rebounding, 6.5 per game. That was 4th in Big East in assists last season, which is pretty impressive. And also Jackson was 2nd in the Big East in individual defensive rating in 2021 and 22, which was the previous season. Now, he is good at defense. I think that is what makes the biggest sense. Also, he has he can pass, he can play defense, he can rebound. Kind of reminds you of this trash talker that we have got to know on the Golden State Warriors, Draymond Green. He is very much similar to Draymond Green, defensively and the passing game. Of course, his shooting is the weakness, but he could definitely work on that. We've seen that from players, but I think that is a huge deal. It's very important, and I'm happy about it. So then, with the 58th pick, the final pick of the draft, they decided to take 6'6", 220-pound forward Chris Livingston out of Kentucky. He was a guy I didn't really know much about. He's a Southern Conference all-freshman team member, playing in 34 games, averaging 6.3 points and 4.2 rebounds. Yes, the point totals. Those are a little bit low. He did shoot 30% from the three-point line. He has a 6'11 wingspan, a 30.5-inch standing vertical, 37-inch maximum vertical. He's a McDonald's All-American, top-level program. I mean, one of the best players probably in the class, but, he just was a freshman. He wasn't their number one option, which is why I think his point totals, it went down. He has the right approach. He has a good mentality. I think this could be definitely a guy that has skills, would I say? Absolutely. But you know what? I don't know much about him, which is why I'm not really giving the statistics on him, but which is an important thing. But Andre Jackson Jr. and Chris Livingston are two guys that can play defense, which is why I think we drafted them, because I think we struggled defensively in the playoffs to contain players. I think they want their main guys being the main roles and having guys be defensive. I mean, the Bucks are still going to be deep. Free agency is approaching. What are they going to do in free agency? Who are they going to bring back? Who are they going to re-sign? Middleton is a free agent. Brook Lopez is a free agent. Crowder's a free agent. Ingles is a free agent. I think Carter is too. Wes Matthews is. I don't know what they're going to do, but you know what? I think, they want to get some younger pieces because their team was super old last year. That was very, obviously, important. Also, there's obviously some new fans, but another guy that they did sign was Amori Moore, two-way deal. He was a San Jose State senior. He was the Mountain West Conference Player of the Year. 17.4 points, 4.8 assists, 4.7 rebounds. He did really well in the combine in his school's pro day, and he's obviously going to be playing for the Herd and maybe the Bucks this season. 6'6", 190 pounds, 6'10 wingspan. That's why he was given a second-round grade. But he didn't get drafted, but we got him. He's young, but you know what? He can definitely do things. I think he has a lot going for him, and he joining Andre Jackson Jr. and Chris Livingston as the new faces around Pfizer, I think will definitely be great. They have a lot of two-way players. AJ Green and Lindell Wigington, those are also two-way players that have made contributions. And we have, I think, a really good, the Herd are going to be good with the amount of people we have on that team, but it's crazy. I don't know. Amori Moore could definitely be a guy that could make a fight for a roster spot because I've heard really great things about him. But also another guy that a lot of people are really hyped up that we signed. Now, we didn't necessarily sign him to, a major contract, but it was only, I think, Exhibit 10 or something like this. It's Drew Timme. Yes, the icon at Gonzaga, almost won him a championship, I think, 2 years back. He's going to be part of the team summer roster, which is exciting. 6'10". People were actually shocked he wasn't drafted, and I get why he wasn't, because yes, his shooting is absolutely abysmal. He's a post-up center, that's undersized. But you know what? It's a 1 year worth a minimum salary, and by the end of the spring training, or summer training or whatever, he could sign with the team to a two-way contract before the season. And this is big because everybody knows how good Drew Timme is. So this could definitely be a huge deal for the Bucks because everybody knows how good he was in college. And he was one of the best college basketball players probably all time. He has the most 20-point games in the history of the March Madness tournament. He is simply an unbelievable player. Obviously, does he transition to the NBA? A lot has to be taken seriously. But, imagine Timme and Giannis Antetokounmpo on the floor together. That would be pretty crazy. A lot of people probably are hyped up about it. So that is what is super, super important. On the other hand, some Wisconsin-related news about the draft. Greenfield native and St. John's High School graduate Brandon Podziemski was selected by the Golden State Warriors with the 19th pick. Everyone's really hyped on him. I mean, back coming out, but, it's a very questionable pick because, no one really knows much about him. He kind of transferred from school, so, he's there. But I'm happy he got in because I'm I guess it's another guy to represent our state. It seems to be, I don't know why Golden State keeps going after people from Milwaukee. I mean, they went after Looney, they went after Poole, they went after Baldwin. Well, now Poole and Baldwin got traded to the Wizards, but now they go after Podziemski. I just don't get it. And then also Marquette's Olivier Maxence Prosper ends up with the Mavericks after a trade with the Sacramento Kings during the draft. So congratulations to him. I mean, obviously I'm going to miss not having him on Marquette next year, but it's good for him that he was going to be in the NBA. I mean, he will be a great addition with Luka Doncic and whoever's on the Mavericks. So that's that. But anyways, if there's more news to come, I will let you know. Free agency officially starts on the 30th of June. So it shall be interesting to see what happens. Lots of crazy things could possibly happen in this free agency season. We already saw Chris Paul get traded. We saw Bradley Beal get traded. It's been so far an interesting offseason. So as it is every year. So if you like what you see, subscribe below, comment with your thoughts, and we will see you next time. Go Bucks.